Hey there, I'm painting, and you know, a lot of people don't like painting, and it's not that I love it, but I don't mind painting. I find it's a good way to do useful work and also think about other things while I'm doing it, because painting is a fairly brainless activity. I mean, if you have enough practice with it, that is, you put yourself on automatic and you start painting. And believe me, I've known painters that do exactly that. They show up at the job in the morning, and before they leave the van, because painters always drive a van, you know, white van usually, and before they leave the van, they have a little session there to take the edge off, get themselves a little bit high to face the day, and then they come in, they grab their brush and they grab their can and they go to it, and well, they're on automatic. I didn't start my day off like that. More and more lately, I've been thinking I should, but I like to keep it real. And of course, what I'm painting here is the base cabinet for my new table saw. I'm really going overboard with this one, folks. I'm giving it, I can't say I'm giving it my all. I mean, if you haven't seen it and you want to know what my all is, go watch the video about that amplifier I made 10 years ago or more. That is something that I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of learning, a lot of time. Did I already say time? Because it really needs to be said again. How much time went into that. But then that's different because that was new to me and I found it more interesting. Everything that I do out here in my workshop, like this stuff here, is not new to me in any way. It's all old. I've done it already. So, you know, you don't have as much enthusiasm for it, but I want to get this done and I want it to look good. And then the enthusiasm I would have for this is that I'm making plans for it, so there's potential that I'll actually make some money. I don't know how well the video will do. Typical build video, I'll try to keep it under 15 minutes. Although, you know, I released the miter saw station with the plans for that. The plans for that were not involved at all. And that was what I compromised on there. I might go back and, you know, upgrade them, put more time. I doubt it though. Because realistically, they have what people need. And selling them for $5, I think that's a good price for that because, you know, it gives you the information that you actually need to build the project. And the rest of it is in the video that I worked my ass off to make in the beginning. So yeah, I'm putting extra time and effort into this. I want it to look good, because I don't know how long I'll be stuck with this thing. So better to have it looking good, you know. People can look at it and say, wow, he made that with a skill saw. That's all there is to it. Maybe I can do that too. Maybe I don't need to spend, you know, $5,000 for that saw stop. And instead, I'll pay more attention to what I'm doing and not cut my fingers off. I don't know. I watch guys using table saw in particular. And the interesting thing is that I get criticized so often for the way I use the table saw when, like I've said before so many times, I'm not doing anything that's dangerous for me with the table saw, because I would immediately recognize it. And I've been in that situation before where I have been doing something, building something, and had a cutting operation that I needed to do. And I thought about the ways that I could do it. And I'll give you an example. A butcher block table that I made way back. I did a couple of videos on it. I talked about it before. But this was made from pieces of wood that I had to cut down to size to fit together. Because I didn't make that the way you'd traditionally make the butcher block thing, was make strips and then glue them together and then cut those across. I made it like in individual blocks. And to be honest, I can't remember exactly why I did that. I think I didn't have any other choice at the time. But I was thinking that I could cut these blocks by running them through the table saw, holding them with my fingers. And I actually did the first couple like that, and nothing happened. But what I started to think to myself was, what if my grip, I lose my grip momentarily, split second thing. That's not going to happen when you have one or two to do. It's only going to happen, I can't say it's only going to happen, it's more likely to happen if you're doing a lot of blocks. And that's what I had ahead of me, a lot of blocks that I had to cut. So I said, John, stop doing this and come up with a different way. So what I did was I made something actually like a precursor to my mini table saw sled that I could actually support the block without the fence and run it past the blade to trim it down to the exact size that I needed, and reduce the amount of risk that I have doing the operation. But I watch people on YouTube using the table saw, and you know, the popular word these days with the kids is cringe. I cringe. I gotta be honest. I cringe because if nothing happens while they're doing it, eventually something will, if they keep doing it that way. And I don't know. I made a series of videos called Table Saw Basics, where I ran over some of the stuff that I've learned in many, many years using table saws and making many, many mistakes over the years. And I've said this before, but I'm the type of person that learns from the mistakes that I make. And this is an attribute that a lot of people simply don't have. They don't learn from the mistakes they make because I see them keep doing it over and over again. I'm not talking about anybody specific on YouTube now. I'm talking about people I've worked with. They do the same thing over and over again. Even though they know, they have to know that it's going to turn out bad. How could you not remember that? Anyway, so I don't know. What am I doing here? What am I rambling about? First was I was rambling about painters and smoking dope. And now I'm rambling about safety, which is none of my fucking business. Your safety is not my business. I would like to see people not get injured, but there's no teacher like a mistake. You learn from your mistakes. Most people do. Like I said, some people don't. That's looking pretty good, John. I don't want to burn through the paint, but it is feeling a little bit rough. I'm just going to lightly sand it with 220 before I give it the water-based stuff. Yeah, you know what, there's the odd little bump that's showing through, but no big deal. Overall, it's going to have a good appearance, and I'd rather have it smooth than perfectly perfect. I'd rather have it perfectly smooth than perfectly perfect. You feel me? Okay, what was I leave off talking about? I can't remember. My memory is fucked. It's fucked. As far as remembering stuff like that. I don't know. I think that as you get older, you tend to... I don't think that there's any like physical problem that you don't remember short-term things. I think it's more a matter of whatever it wasn't very important anyway. I don't have to remember it. It's like a dream. You wake up from a dream and it starts to fade immediately. That's because your mind knows that it's not real and it's not worth keeping. I mean, I don't know if there's unlimited space in your brain. I'm not, up on those kinds of things. I'm sure that some people that are watching are, because there's an expert for everything, or one that claims to be. Fuck! I can't hold on to that goddamn sandpaper. Yeah, I'm really going overboard with this one. Even sanding it before I put on the water-based polyurethane. I was going to paint it again, a second coat, but this first coat covered up pretty good, so just going to give it a light sanding with 220 and call it good. I'll have to do on the inside as well, too, because sitting on the floor, moisture comes up through the slab, gets on the inside type thing. Does all kinds of funky stuff. I just, I think it's worth it to take the time to quickly do it. Besides, I can't finish the assembly today, obviously, because I got to wait until this dries. So I might as well do it right, is what I'm trying to say. If I can hold on to the sandpaper, that is. What do you think of this color, huh? I was thinking yesterday when I was cutting out the parts that I should go and buy a can of gray paint for the base to make that look good. And then I realized that I've got paint. This is the paint I'm using on my house. This is the color that I'm painting the exterior of my house. So. And the name of this paint, actually, they give paint names, is hardware. So I think that's appropriate. And it's a color that I like. I think it looks good. Anyway, I was talking about painters and smoking pot, and I should say that not all painters do that, of course. Some of them drink in the morning before starting work. Actually, most of them don't do either of that, drink or smoke up. But some of them do. I've known a few. And I don't know. Alright, last section to do. And I guess this will wrap up this video. What I'll give this an hour to dry, like I did with the paint. And I'll put it down on the floor, and I'll paint the inside, like I talked about. And then since it's turned nice out, because it's been raining the past couple of days, when actually it was supposed to be clear, because I wanted to do something outdoors that I have to get done before the bad weather sets in, cold weather sets in. I've been stuck doing this. Not that this is not important, because it is, but the other thing is way more important. Anyway, so I also want to get out the tops, or bring the tops outdoors and spray on a couple of coats of this stuff while the weather's good. And people have asked me about demonstrating the sprayer that I'm using, that I bought last year. And I keep getting questions on it, so I may as well make kind of a short video on that. I don't ever talk about products, but this one I like it, and I don't see the harm in it. Of course, I'm not going to be making any money from it because it's not sponsored or anything like that, but product videos do better anyway because people search for the product, and if you have a review for it, which is something I don't do, then you might get more views on your channel because of that. So that's the reason why you see them generally. It's like I follow a few channels that cover cameras and stuff like that, or photography, and that's always a big draw for people, is the camera reviews, even though they're all basically the same these days, you know, functionality and features wise. There's not a whole lot of difference. So yeah, this is a long one. Are you guys still there?
Marcus, get this kid off me before he pisses on me, all right? Fuck with my beard.
It's not real.
No shit. Well, it was real, but you see I got sick and all the hair fell out, so I had to wear this fucking thing.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman who wasn't clean.
Mrs. Santa?
No, it was her sister.